Well, continuing on, my mom met another man along the way. He was a bus driver. And as the years went on, he eventually started talking to his ex wife. He would phone her up in front of my mother, making my mother feel bad, and she would flirt with him on the phone. And one day, my mom got tired of it and she just walked out and he said, "See you later." His plan was he was going to ask his ex-wife back, even though she was dating a boyfriend already. So he asked her back, and she says, "No, I already have somebody." So he decides to phone my mother back and apologize and offer her a crock pot. And my mother says, "No, I don't ever want to talk to you again." So he got burned there. And anyway, I want to talk about a couple of things about a couple of my exes. I was seeing this girl in high school. We had this teacher. I'm not going to mention any names. He's dead now. He got offered by the father to break the relationship up to get some heating and alarm system installed in his house. Unbelievably enough, to break the relationship up because I wasn't, quote, of their language. So, and I'll tell you, that school is in the west side of the city. Just amazing what people will do for their selves. And I also had met this other girl later on in life. I was probably about 30. And I had this very close friend of mine. He was blind. And I drove the guy everywhere. I drove him all around the country just to help him out. So one day, one day. So I had a dream, and I called up that man, and I told him about it. And he says, "Oh," he goes, "Well, I have to phone so and so, and get this straightened out." And I said, "No, no, 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 no." I said, "You don't do anything till I get there." So what does he do? He goes ahead and phones the John Q. Law. And what happens is I get a phone call from her screaming and crying, "I never want to see you again," and threatens to harm me. And I've known this guy for a number of years. He used to come into a restaurant that I used to work for. Drove him around for many, many, many years. Down through the States and everywhere. And, later on he phones back and he says he apologizes to her, but, I don't fully believe it. And I wrote her a letter and everything, and I told her, "Listen, I had nothing to do with this." Well, she says, "Well, you have done somewhat of it. Somewhat of it." And it was like, "What do you mean by that?" I wouldn't do that to somebody I love or care about. I wouldn't try to harm them like that in that manner. I don't know, maybe she conspired with him to get rid of me because the boyfriend she's with now, who gave her the kid, probably said either this is just for hypothetical, maybe he said to her, well, either you get rid of him or no child support. I don't know. It is what it is. You're probably wondering where the shirt came from and the hat. Well, me and my mother were shooting pictures for an album cover that we had put out together, that we had made together. She was the engineer and I was the performer. And one day, whether it be at a get-together setting or a work setting, I'm not going to say which one, a very close friend of mine had made a very not right statement towards me and my mother. He said, "So what are you doing this weekend?" I said, "Well, I'm going to go do a photo shoot with me and my mom And he says, "Oh, you're going to make a porn?" So my very best friend starts laughing. And I didn't take kindly to that. And I said, "What are you laughing at?" I go, "That's not funny. That's my mother." He just looks at me and just keeps laughing. So later on in the day, and I said to him, "Listen, I want to talk to you about this." He just completely ignored me and said, "Listen, I don't want to talk about this. Leave me alone." What a real good friend, eh? After I helped him out during Christmas time with something for him and his family, he turns around and kicks me in the ass like that. Real friends for you. Now to get more to the present. My mother, she got very sick. She had I think they call it a pleural, but I'm not sure of the rest of it because I just didn't have time to look it up. Underneath the lungs, and it like water there,